In Tanzania, I've crossed Tanzania a couple of times on a motorcycle. It's a lovely place. Straight, wide roads, not too busy.
Crosswinds.
Yeah, and very cool crossings. Of course, when you're on a small bike,
Yes.
it gets you out of the road. Burundi, interestingly, also a country with a lot of twisty similarities with Rwanda because of the mountains. So the roads have corners, but unexpected potholes, of course, on the corners. And the confusion of where the drivers are going to drive from because they have both right-hand cars and left-hand cars. And then on the road, they're supposed to keep right. So you find someone is overtaking, but because the driver cannot see the incoming traffic, then it just seems like a dangerous overtaking. So in Burundi, you have to be cautious for those kind of eventualities. So I'd say if I was to rank my best places to ride, I think around East Africa, I would start with Tanzania as number one, just because of the open roads and you can taste the throttle.
But what about fuel? What about fuel?
When you ride the GS, you don't care about fuel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Until you get adulterated fuel with water, yeah. Then let's continue.
In those wells.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Tanzania, just because of the open roads and clear markings, it's even more safer to ride at night in my case. I think the second place, other than riding in Kampala, I'll choose Uganda. I'll choose Uganda also just because of the road markings. And if you have speed bumps, they're not those very dangerous speed bumps that you hit and then they'll mess you up. I would have chosen Rwanda as number one, but the speed is just too slow. It's just too slow for big bikes. But they have the most amazing roads. Africa, I think, let's say if you're in Kigali now, you go to either of the borders. Like for example, going to the Uganda border, you don't even have a single speed bump. Same
Yeah.
Same thing if you're going to Tanzania.
By the way, yeah.
So the only speed bump is you're going to Congo in Gisenyi and it's just around Musanze. So very nice roads, very well lit and well marked, and also very respectful drivers. But just for biking is a bit slow. But the fun of it is the twisties. So that one like number 3. The twisties are just so nice.
And Kenya is number last. Yeah.
Of course, I'll pick the last. I've not had so much.
Bro, you're not patriotic. You're not patriotic. You're not patriotic.
Me too. I think on that I'll support Ben. Also, me, I've never had like the best of it. There is always something. Yeah.
There's always something.
Yeah. Like what happened last time, story for another day.
You guys are just not patriotic. Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, one way or another, all roads lead home.
Yeah.
So, Tish, do you have something?
Yeah, there is a point that because most of the car, they usually assume that you are not coming too fast. They think they have this what's it called, this assumption that bike they're not fast, and you might be even going faster than them. Especially I've been pushed a lot of time on the road while I was having the GS, and it's fast, especially in Kampala with those small matatus. They'll see you are coming.
But my guy,
Even you're flashing.
Uganda does not have matatus.
Even you're flashing. Those small Nissans.
Taxis.
Oh, my bad. Taxis. Taxis. So they'll see you're coming. Even you're warning them, and also you're flashing back that you're coming too fast. But then they're just coming. So one thing I realized, bikers, they don't have way on the road. Like,
Right away, yeah?
yes, they don't have right of way. Either way, I think moving forward, I think it's best just to be patient. Because at the end of the day, let him pass. Your safety comes first. For him, he's in a 4-wheel. He has ABS. Also, as you have ABS, but again, you're at risk than the person in the cage. Yeah.
I think we can summarize it to be that's road courtesy.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, don't argue with a big object on the road. Yeah. It's about safety. It's about, how do I put it? It's about us just trying to show that biking is not about hooliganship. It's not, of course, you have a loud pipe.
Yeah.
That you don't have to go around doing just to scare the guy to get out of the road. Sometimes it happens when your life is at risk. I would rather, for me, That's for me. I would rather a driver hears me than they knock me or almost knock me.
Yeah.
So I would rather you hear the pipe, you'll be like, who's that? And then you move out of the way.
Yeah, you just get annoyed, but at least they
Yeah,
see
I'm safe.
coming.
Yeah, I'm safe. It's okay. You get annoyed, but I'm safe.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing it purposefully. You won't get me doing. I think I've told you I'm looking for earmuffs, and sometimes even I feel like changing exhausts.
Yeah.
But I think it's a big discussion whether loud pipes save lives or not. That's another discussion for another day.
Yeah.
But the conclusion of Ben's story should go at a climax of there is always, I'll say, there's always an investment that comes with choosing a certain lifestyle.
Yeah.
And the lifestyle, I think we all have to agree that the lifestyle we chose was biking.
Yeah.
Or not was, is biking.
Yeah.
I always say that I hope someday when I have a child, that child will carry this and say, these flaws in the family, So I hope
It depends with the mom.
the mom is in love with the biker, not the bike. So Ben, what as we conclude your story, your biking story, you yourself, the way you look at how you've been in biking, and I like that you had growth in biking. Do you see it coming to a point where you will want it to go down to your children and going on through, or for you? I had the time of my life. Adios, guys.
Yeah, I think it's so much easy to do something that you find your parents doing. It's very much easy. So, for example, in my young days, my dad was into carpentry, and so it's something I enjoyed because the tools are there. I could play around and make things. I could make some things and just sell in the neighborhood for some money. Yeah, so I think it would be nice to, of course, I'm not going to force them, but I think that hopefully, God willing, if I still have the health to ride when I'm older and when my kids are getting older, them seeing me ride, I hope that it gives them a spark onto wanting to learn and experience biking.
Yeah.
But one thing for sure is once you taste biking, I don't think they'll go back, going back.
Yeah.
I agree, because how I started loving a bike, it's very funny. Very, very, very funny. Because I'll just make it short. It was this day I used to work in Westland in Nairobi. So I used to stay in Dandora. I'm proud of that, guys. Where I'm coming from, big up. So I used to stay in Dandora, and the traffic was very crazy because I used to get to work around 10 and it was very late. So I had this friend, Mose. He used to stay somewhere in Kariobangi. So one day I was like, I knew he had a bike. So by that time, I've never gotten even on a border. So I was like, Mose, tomorrow, can I go with you? I know you have to help me, just take me to work, because we used to work close, like a walking distance, like from his office to my office, it was like 5 minutes. So I was like, yeah, cool. Just be here on time, like 7:45, and I need to get to work around 8:45. That was the check-in time. So I asked him, are you sure you're going to make it? Because with the thicker road, by that time, Outarin was very single lane before it was rebuilt how it is right now. So I went, sat on the bike, cool breeze. By that time, even I didn't know I need to close the visor. So I was there, cool breeze. Join the wind to Thika Road. So it took me like 20 minutes to get to the office. I was like, interesting. From there, I was like, I'm going to buy a bike. Actually, my first bike I bought even without even knowing how to ride. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting stuff. And I think that's another section we need to put in all our videos.
Yeah.
So that has been our first section, and Ben, you had something to add before?
No, nothing to add.
Okay. So we're going to get into our second section, and stay tuned. Welcome back to our second session, and this is where the fun is. If you've not subscribed yet, I still insist, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. on YouTube and on Instagram. You are, of course, you're not able to subscribe at the moment, but please remember to follow our Instagram handle, which is bikers_corner.
Also, don't forget to leave comments of anything or anything that you have a question or you want us to tackle on. Just drop a comment down there.
Okay, so as we dive deeper, I want us to get into a session that many might find controversial, but these German Shepherd people, but for anyone who doesn't know what I am referring to as German Shepherd, is BMW, be it cars, be it bicycles,
GMV.
be it BMW. Actually, in Rwanda, it's called BMW.
Here.
BMW, yes.
That's
I don't know how that is it, but there are several ways of owning a BMW in East Africa. I think for most of the Kenyans go to Inchcape. Or, by the way, this is not a paid promotion for any company. It's just we are mentioning the existing ways which it happens. But for this session, because Ben is here, I want us to hear how he got his. That is a 1250 and the ride from south. I think people go down south, but for them they came from south to east.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ben, how did it go?
Yeah, so I bought my 1250 years from Johannesburg in South Africa. But then after buying the bike, of course, I had to go through the registration. It had to be registered under my name. So, of course, with the help of the bikers and people that know about the processes, because I did not know anything about it. So I got someone from Uganda to help me. They linked me to a contact of theirs in South Africa. And so that is the person I entrusted with this whole process. They should go and confirm the bike is okay, is in good condition, the papers are okay. And then they'll take charge of the registration process. So that happened. Took about like a month. And then after that, I was supposed to go and pick the bike, but I was so busy with work again. I could not get time to go and pick the bike. But once I got that chance to pick the bike, before then, actually, my friend Geoffrey, I convinced him actually. He was just saying, I want to get a bike, I want to get a bigger bike. But when I found a suitable bike for him, I reached out to him and he also bought another bike, a 1250 also. And so both bikes were registered in South Africa. And so he had all the paperwork. So what he did is fly from Kigali, Nairobi, then Nairobi, Johannesburg. We get there, same day we go see the bikes. Very nice. And it was too cold actually during that period. And then the following days when we were supposed to leave South Africa. In estimate, we only had 7 days to have made it to Kenya. So we get the bikes. The following day, then we're supposed to leave very early in the morning. And I have a few things to be fixed on my bike, like printing the number plate and fixing it. So we end up leaving very early, very late in South Africa. But then from South Africa, we went to Francistown, which is in Botswana. So we crossed one border, is around, I think, 700 kilometers away. But I would say, I think of all the places I've ridden, I enjoyed riding in South Africa on their freeways. First, because of the respect that the other road users have amongst each other. So, for example, you could be doing 120 kilometers per hour, and then someone in front of you is just doing 110 on the first lane, and then they have to move out of the lane to give you way for you to speed up. And so there everybody is moving so fast. So it was really nice and fast. We get to Botswana very late at night. But again, we find accommodation. But then you can ask me a question if you're interested in knowing details about any of the.
I'm following the journey. You flow. I'm following the journey. I'm at Freetown and then we
So
Down to Botswana, yeah.
find a place to sleep. So the reg in Botswana was done at night. We did not have proper lighting on the bike, was just the stock lighting, which is not very good.
Yeah.
The roads are very, very nice. No single bump from South Africa in Johannesburg all the way to Francistown. No single speed bump. And then the following day in the morning, we leave around 7 a.m. We were going from Freetown to Livingstone. From Francistown to Livingstone in Zambia. And we were going to cross through the famous Kazungula border on Zambia. Very, very troublesome border. And then we spent, I think, around 7 hours at the border crossing over to Zambia. Not the best of experiences. but it's just because of the stringent measures that Zambia has put in, especially for vehicles that are coming from other countries.